Hey everybody, it's Teresa here of Larkin Design. Today I'm sharing with you a couple of quick tutorials that will be shared on the Cut Shop blog. So I invite you to check out the link below to see the blog post that is connected to these tutorials. I'm working with some digital scrapbooking products and wanted to share the tutorials for how this layout came together. So the first tutorial is how I am cropping the photos to fit into the background paper that I'm using. So I have, you can see on my screen here, I'm in Photoshop. I have the CC version and the scrapbooking papers that are included in the collection that I'm using. This is the Snapshots collection from the Cut Shop. They are in a PDF format, and so when you go to open the PDF format in Photoshop, you can see on my screen it gives you the option to select which papers you want to open. So I'm going to pick the one here. This is number 10. It's the one with the frames, and it asks you all of these little things. I don't worry about any of that. The designer has already set all of this to be the way it needs to be. So I'm going to select number 10 and click OK. And it's going to bring up my paper here. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to find my photos that I want to clip into these frames. So these were taken in December, and I think I have them in here. And of course, you can put any photos in there that you want. I wanted to go back and find these particular ones. Okay, and so let me just open a couple of these. These were just some silly photos that we took the day after Christmas, and we were just feeling a little overwhelmed and tired and happy, and so we took these fun series of photos. And the first thing that I want to do, because obviously this, let me go to my move tool. This frame right here, for example, is a whole lot smaller than my photos are. So let me crop this photo down a little bit first, and you can of course do the editing that you want to, but let's just crop it down here. In your crop tool, you have several different options. I usually keep it to the width, by height, by resolution, and you can enter in pixels or inches. It's up to you. We just want to make it more manageable to drop it into that pattern paper. So let's bring this down to 4 inches. And for the purposes of this crop, I don't have to worry about the other measurement, the height measurement. It will keep that the same or in the correct aspect ratio if you don't put anything in here. So just worry about the width for now, and then I'm going to Control A and Control C. So I'm going to copy that photo, and then I'm going to Control V on my keyboard and paste it into my pattern paper. So you can see here it's a pretty good estimation of how big that little frame is. This one, the same way. They're pretty close. If I want to crop the next one a little bit bigger to fit into that one, I can. And so here's how I'm going to make it. If you notice in the layout itself, I cropped it so that these little scallops would show. And so here's how we're going to do that. We're going to click on the layer that the pattern paper is on. In my layout, it's on layer 1. And then I'm going to use the magnetic lasso tool. It's this one here. And this lets you trace around this image. So before we do that, let's zoom in a little bit so that we know exactly where we're clicking on the layout, and let's get it to where we can see what we're doing. And I'm old and I have old eyes, so anyway, I'm going to just once I've clicked on my magnetic lasso tool and I know that I'm on the layer of the pattern paper, I'm just going to trace around the outside of this thing. And what I recommend is click on the inside part of the scallop and the outside part of the scallop, so that you're telling the lasso tool to select what you want. If you have any white spaces around this black line, it's going to show on your photo. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like, let's let go of the expectation that it has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just close enough to get you what you want here. And if it goes off of the line that you're trying to get, like let's say it does that accidentally, you can just hit the delete button and it will go back to where you want it. And just keep doing that. Go around all of the little scallops here. Sing a song while you work. Do 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 do. Okay, and we're almost there. I think this is a lot of fun here. I like this part. And there we go. That sort of went off of the beaten path. So let's grab that back where we need it. Oops. And again, there. Okay, and so at this point we have a bounding box. We have the marching ants going around where we want to crop this photo into. So at this point, I'm going to have my cursor. I have my cursor inside this frame, and I'm going to right click, and up comes a happy little box. And so I want to do layer via cut. Let's see, right? No, I want to do layer via copy. Okay, and so what that gives me is I now have a layer that just has that bounding box on it. And then once I have my little layer with its own little bounding box on it, I'm going to click on the photo that I brought in. Remember the photo that we brought in? I'm going to drag that over top of this little thing. And if you want to resize it, you can. Click your shift key to maintain the aspect ratio. You still want it to be that approximate size, and click OK. And then we're going to put the cursor, of course, on our photo, on the image, and we're going to right click, and we're going to create a clipping mask. And look, it clipped to that little scallop box. Now you can see where it left the little white marks, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to show you sort of what happens when you if you're not precise, if you're not exact. There's a couple of ways you can handle that. You can go back and redo it if you want to. Try to think. I would probably go back and redo that just because that would bug me. But if it's just you, like, you could totally pick up the color of his shirt. Use your eyedropper tool and pick up the color of his shirt. And there we go. You can just fill those in a little bit and touch it up. Just make sure that you need to be on the layer that the pattern paper is on. So, and that's an easy way to clean those up if you don't want to redo it. That happens to work because it's on black, so that color won't really show up once you print it out. But that is an easy way to crop your images to fit into these cute little frames. So if we want to do that again, let's do that with this one here. So again, grab our magnetic lasso tool, and we can just, this one's a lot simpler because it's just straight lines. So we're tracing around the frame where we want our photo to clip to. I am just getting all kinds of things wrong here. Okay, and then right click on that and layer via copy, and then we can, let's see here, let's grab another one and crop that down. We're going to crop this one a little bit bigger because that frame is a little bit bigger. Control A, Control C, and make sure you're on the Move tool. Control V, paste that into the layout. Hold your Shift key and shrink it down to where you want it to be, and then create the clipping mask. And that's an easy, really easy way to clip photos into this awesome little background paper. So I hope that's been helpful to you. Of course, if you have any questions at all, feel free to private message me. You can post on the Cut Shop blog, and I will be happy to help you out as much as I'm able to. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.